it's a plot to drop the IQ. Fighting amongst each other over rulers that don't like you. Prefer us trapped in melancholy with the wood wands of holly. Suggestions that obliterate to camouflage the folly. Attempted mental robbery, executed sloppily. The hypocrisy, this mockery, and walk the talk with me. Put the hands up to touch the Akasha, cause you know deep down there's something bigger than your wallet.
Sweet eternal balance for all that is good, true, and beautiful, friends. Welcome back to Rogue Ways, where tonight it is the November Tarot Oracle 2024. November 2024. It's so fast we got here, but here we are, just a few days away. And we're going to go into the November Tarot. Of course, we look at the economy. We look at our physical health and forecast for that. We look at emotional, mental health. We look at our love relationships. We look at our social relationships, our society at large. We look at our spiritual messages. Then we get an overall message for November. And that is the Tarot Oracle. And usually it's just for supporters. And yet I said, since I'm switching things around a bit, that I'm not doing supporter only content on Rockfin anymore. So here I am doing tarot for everybody. Therefore, if you'd like to support the show, it would be fantastic if you feel called to share a donation to support what you love. The link is below you wherever you're watching or listening to this. Now that it is free for all, especially, I will hope that those of you who find value here share value back. I also have some very exciting things to share with you this day, as well as some free, very powerful events I would like to invite you to. So we're going to do that. And I also have my yearly tarot so we can look ahead or look and see what was being said for November, the overall tarot way back in January of 2024. It seems like a long time ago. And it was. But first, let's look at this here. Rogue Soul Services at rogueways.org. This is where you can find everything I do, all of my books, the channeled spiritual messages, as well as the fictional trilogy and more. You can book sessions with me. You can check out the Dreamwalking class. You can check out the Blazing Brightness Retreat next summer solstice 2025 here in Colorado in person. It's going to be epic. I can't wait to see you all there. That's all here at rogueways.org. You can look at all the things, testimony of those people who have worked with me for years, all kinds of stuff. Check out the shop, check out the favorite things tab. That's all at rogueways.org. I also always want to invite you to go to rogueways.substack.com. This is on Substack. This is also a way to support the show. If you're a paid subscriber here, you also get bonus material, which is the channeled messages that come through the spiritual ancestors. And today's is a banger, folks, as the kids say. Are we a binary star system? It's actually weirder than that, according to what came through. It's been coming through for a while. Today is when the actual message for you all came through. It's pretty interesting stuff. So go check that out if you're not a paid subscriber yet. I hope you become one. There is also free content there, and it is also a good way to stay in touch. Although both becoming a free subscriber on rogueways.substack.com and going to the bottom of any page at rogueways.org and signing up to the email list are great ways to stay in touch and to hear about things like the Violet Flame Vigil that Ellie Molina and myself will be holding later this week. You know, we did this, and I don't remember exactly when. It might have been a handful of years ago. So don't, she might remember better than I, but we both felt called at another point in time that felt like a sort of clinch moment, right? Of where we were either going to make it through that eye of the needle I keep talking about, or we weren't. And so this feels like a similar moment to both of us, and we both feel called to provide yet another Violet Flame Vigil. These are super powerful, and they're free. We hope that you come. We hope everyone who can comes. It is Friday evening. You can always go out right afterwards, if you're going out. And really, it's just you coming in, and we'll do a really powerful deep meditation. We're going to do some healing work. It's going to be pretty quick. It's just under an hour. So, you don't have to commit your whole evening to it. And the more people who come and show up and really feel this in their heart, the more we shift reality. And again, make sure we're on the best and highest timeline, which we know we are. So we're just going to stay there. We're going to invite more souls to come on that timeline with us. So this is a work of service that we do together. And it's also, you know, whenever you stand in a opening of your own channel to hold higher light or intention here in this space, you also get that blessing that you're bringing through. So you're doing service work for the world. You're also healing yourself as you do it. They're never separate things. And you may think sometimes, oh, I'm just working on myself, I'm healing me, but you're healing the world. And you may do things like this where you say, I'm stepping forward to heal the world, and you're healing yourself. So I hope you come get all that you can out of this event and share with us. You can book to come. That's how you will get the link to join us. It is free. Again, all you're going to do is go to where you would normally book services with me, which is either through the Rogue Ways site up here under Book Soul Services or Schedule. Or you can just go to calendly.com/rogueways and you can see all the services that I do here. It's all the one-on-one work I do with people and group work I do with people. And the Violet Flame Vigil is here. You will just pick the only available time, which is this Friday at whatever your time zone will say here. For me, it's 5 p.m. It's different for everybody. And you'll just click it and then fill it out and come join us. So again, free. Lots of people are already signed up to do that. And so I hope you come and join us as well. The other thing, of course, tomorrow night is Tuesday, and Tuesday is for supporters only. And since I'm not doing any more supporter-only content on Rockfin or anywhere else streaming, I am now doing the Lightning Oracle round as an event. So you can come join us for the Lightning Oracle round, just like you would tip or be a supporter or find some other way to exchange normally in Lightning Oracle round. You will buy your spot here, and it's every first and third. Of course, this is a 5th Tuesday we're doing it on, but normally it'll be a first and third Tuesday of every month. So for some reason, the 19th of next month isn't available, but it will be. So you can, click on any Tuesday and sign up ahead of time. And then, as I've said, if you're not going to be able to make it to Lightning Oracle, you can always send me your question or request ahead of time, and I'm happy to still bring through your message for you as normal. And they'll still recorded for just a few days, but enough for you to come check back whenever you can. The other thing is, yes, it's on Zoom. You don't have to show your face. You don't have to unmute your mic. You can participate at whatever level you're comfortable with. So if that's just chatting, then you can just chat and just be there, So yes, it's Zoom, but it can still be very private for you. And so that's really cool. A lot of you have already signed up for that tomorrow. I hope that those of you who haven't will come join us tomorrow. So both of those are at calendly.com/rogueways or from the Rogueways site under schedule session or book sessions. And again, Violet Flame Vigil this Friday night, the 1st of November, free for everyone. And Lightning Oracle every other Tuesday. And I requested donation. So thank you to all of you who support. And it's also just so cool, this work that I get to do with you all to bring through those messages for whoever requests them. It always ends up being such a powerful time. And it's even more powerful now, honestly, that we're doing it this way, that we're going to be in Zoom together and be a little bit more private and just a little bit more gets to come through. And also you get to respond more directly, with however much time we have to do so, if you choose to do so. So it is a bit more powerful, and that's exciting too. So I'm glad for those of you who have chosen to come along on Tuesdays. All right, so let's get to November. In the 2024 overall yearly reading, of which there's only 2 cards left, one's for November, one's for December. On November, we got the 4 of Wands, which is perfection. Perfection. I don't know, man. I felt this way all year. I've been feeling this way recently. I'm sure you've been hearing me talk about it. I'm sure the black pill just think that I'm a naive little weirdo. I feel pretty good about things coming, but we'll see, right? But 4 of Wands, perfection, it's an interesting card to get for anything, but especially for a whole month. There's a balance in perfection, right? And sometimes there's some things that are on their way out while some things are on their way in, but it's perfect, right? Perfect timing, perfect alignment, right? It's almost always of a spiritual or higher level nature because things, stuff, and people, not perfect. None of them. But timing can be perfect. And that's part of this perfection as far as we understand it in this coming November. But also, and the way it came through back in January for November of this year was a massive opportunity to uplift or open our third eye and connect with higher consciousness. I don't, and I'm gonna, like, you might not believe me, but we did not plan this Violet Flame Vigil because of like this card or anything. But now that I'm saying it, I'm like, this is actually what the Violet Flame Vigil is a massive opportunity for us to all uplift, open our third eye a bit more, open our hearts a bit more, connect to higher consciousness, and bring that through to this plane. You know, I had someone say to me sometime recently, they were like, yeah, but you know, when I say stuff like this, I'm kind of like, who the fuck do I think I am? And I'm like, who the fuck do you think you are? You are a fucking ray of light. You are divine source here in matter. You are God's channel to the world. That's who the fuck you are. They're like, yeah, when you put it that way. And that's true for all of us. All of us, especially when we're choosing to be that and step up into it and align with it. So perfection, yeah, that's where I'm headed. You come with me? Let's go. But like I said, in material physical reality, there's a lot of things that might be going on that don't feel or look so perfect to us, right? So it's on that higher level that we have to keep that in mind, that it's perfect timing, perfect alignment, perfect connection to higher source. And that's what we're going to hold no matter what comes through. But let's see now what is going to come through. And we get to see that for all those areas that we talked about, all the areas of life we look at in the tarot oracles here. I never pull the cards out ahead of time. I just know that the people who are here watching this or listening to this, even if it's afterwards, are part of why what comes through, because my intention every time I do these is that the messages for the people who are going to receive them are going to come through. So we get to, whoops, we get to tap into what we need to know, what we need to hear, because it would be different for everyone, right? But those of us here were at least aligned somewhat. All right, so let's pull out the economic message for November. We're going to get the physical health message for November. We get the social emotional message for November. We're going to get the romantic message for November. Okay, we're going to get the societal or social message for November. We're going to get the spiritual message for November. And we're going to get the overall. So almost all reversed, guys. Message for November. Okay, so let's start with the economy here. We have the moon reversed, which means there's going to be some fantastical thinking. There's going to be some magical thinking. There's going to be some, especially emotional reactivity and perhaps delusion. This will be the time to really, 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 really keep your head and be objective as possible. The moon upright would be a really powerful card of dreaming, of magic, of manifestation, of emotional, of some of our shadow side, support. And when it's reversed, all of that energy is in its sort of blocking or negative aspect, and it would be a warning against, especially the sort of like more illusion-based or delusional side of that, but also, again, the emotional reactivity. So, this can come in many forms, and it's almost always not what we expect. That's why it's an illusion, right? So, for example, I think sometimes whatever markets can do whatever and they can report that, and then people will think, oh, when that happens, I'm supposed to do this, and then they're reacting and they're emotional and they're rushing to the bank or they're pulling out money or whatever. And really what was true is that if they would have just calmed down and taken a step back and waited a while, they would have seen that everything was fine. It's that type of thing. If that's the opposite of what you would normally sort of expect and think and do, then it might be the other way around, where you might be warned against like an emotional sort of state that would encourage you to do nothing or lull you into a sleep, and then really you should have acted, right? So that can be really hard for that reason. Like each person's level of delusion or illusion is very, very particular to them. And so when that comes to money, that can get even hairier. There's not, I shouldn't say that, but there are a lot of people like myself who have trauma around money. And so that can make it really hard to know what to do sometimes when we have unhealed relationships with money. So if you know yourself really well, if you know your shadow really well, like if you're like me and you know you have some trauma around money, then I know what my sort of triggers are and what my likelier illusions or delusions are. So then I can watch for that and say like, don't, especially if you're really feeling that way, like just wait a while, right? So you might have that too. Part of what I was thinking when this came up is stuff like Nisara and Gesara. I don't know if you remember those sort of belief systems or movements, but fantastic story. I would love it if it's true, and if it is, cool. I'm happy to eat my hat or whatever you're supposed to say, but on this one. But it's very magical thinking, and it's very this type of reverse moon energy to think that there's some magical bank account from Saint Germain that he's been saving up all this time to then just shower the world with money. It's also not realistic to think that that would be a good thing. so even if it did happen. So it's that type of thing we want to watch out for, depending on who we are, right? There's some people who Nisara Guitar was super, super attractive and they were really into it. It never really hooked me, so I was never really in danger of anything, right? If it happened, I'd be very clear-headed about it, because I'd be like, that was unexpected. What's actually happening, right? Right? So you have to know, like, if there's some sort of crashes and that's going to be your trigger, how are you going to make sure you give yourself some space around that? If there's some sort of huge booms and you feel like you're supposed to go dump all your money into something and that's what you'd be more likely to do, then how are you going to have some space around that? Be really as practical, objective, and logical as you can about this. And if you don't have those things for yourself, find someone else who can have them with or for you. Get some balance there. So not so much predicting like an event in November as some shadow work we're all going to do together. I'm ready. Bring it on. All right. Thanks all of you who are watching on YouTube as well. It's just from many, many, many thousands of subscribers to deleted and now back to like, 100? So if you want to share this, if you like the content I make, then help me grow my channel again. Why? I don't even know. Are they just going to delete it again? We'll find out. We'll do it together. And what's up to everyone on Rockfin as well as Rumble. Thanks everybody for being here. And all of you out there in podcast land, we don't forget about you. Much love to you all too. So let's look at the physical health message. Pretty freaking clear. I always say this card almost never means what we think it means, but in this case it does. This is the death card. Pretty clear. Death upright. And we'll see. That has actually been predicted as a month of death for a long, long time. So interesting that it would come up here. I mean, is it going to be like massive? I don't know. It doesn't feel that way to me. And I just want to remind everyone that anybody, and this is harsh sounding to some people, anyone taking this as their exit point, that's what their soul wanted. They didn't want to live through what's coming at us. So that's okay. And this death is upright for a reason. That means that overall, again, in this community at least, of people who are listening to this message, we're going to be able to accept it and honor it and release it a bit easier than maybe other people will. So whatever form that's going to take, people have been predicting that the people who took the injection are finally going to, I don't know. I don't know if that's it or if it's something totally unrelated. Again, for the 7 billionth time, we're in this pretty intense cycle of the sun right now. That's just on the materialist, scientific, objective reality side of things. You add to it what we're going through spiritually, which is actually the same thing, but just from a different angle. And it's like massive. So if you're like me, and whenever these coronal mass ejections and these large energy bursts from plasma from the sun is hitting the earth and the Schumann resonance is going nuts, you've been purifying for a while, like a while. And it's been getting more and more intense, but also therefore easier to move through those purifications. And you might not have always noticed them, especially if you haven't had an eye towards this over the past couple years or so. Then you might not have been noticing that, like, yeah, every time it hits, you get wiped or you get a migraine or you get, barfy or whatever, all sorts of things. Some people go the other way and they get like super high energy and they're like anxious and they want to like fight. All kinds of things are coming up and out of people because we're all going through some transformation together. So it could very easily be that the sun has a massive ejection and burst and that it hits us head on and that wipes out a lot of people. That could be the death. We don't, that's actually the most likely in my book outside of war, but this is a physical health question, not a society question in this place in the tarot reading, this death card. So it's much more likely that it's something like that. Even if it seems like a lot of people who took an injection end up being amongst those that die, if that's the way things go, that would not necessarily be because something was like triggered. It still could be this, process of the sun and the way our bodies interact with it, and that perhaps their system was weakened, right? So let's not pretend we know ahead of time, and let's wait and see what happens. And who knows? Violet Flame Vigil, maybe a lot of lives will be saved. We'll find out. I always keep the highest hopes. I know I'm not dying next month, so, we'll be okay. So we're going on to the mental and emotional health issues. There'll be a lot of people, this is like the most obvious card of all time. There'll be a lot of people who will be dealing with the emotional and social shame of not winning. This is the victory card. Reverse is very much about social energy and outward facing sort of energy. And so victory reverse, it's not that there's no victory, it's that there's going to be people who very keenly don't feel it. And that's pretty obviously about the election. So mental and emotional health will be disturbed by that, to say the least. Again, if it goes the way it's quite likely to go, which is Donald Trump winning, love him, hate him, neutral, doesn't matter. That seems to be the thing that's happening. And if it goes that way, the leftists and the far, far left are going to have exceptional mental and emotional outbursting and negativity. If it goes the other way, it'll be a lot more manageable. It'll still exist. It just won't be as fiery and in everybody's face. So either way, there's going to be a lot of people who might enjoy our actually non-judgmental support for whatever they're going to be going through in response to whatever does happen. And we'll be saints if we can help them through it. You don't have to be a saint, but if you can be a saint, it's cool. I'm not always. That's for sure. So the next card is our romance card. And we've got the Ten of Cups reversed, which is the card of emotional success. Again, it's reversed, so there's some blockage in it, but that doesn't mean that emotional success doesn't exist. At this point, for the vast majority of people, especially people listening to this show, if you are with someone, it's for a really good reason. You just weathered some of the most difficult years of history together. And so like a lot of stress, a lot of social breakdown, and a lot of deep soul searching sort of existential crises. And so you've got the emotional success, right? Or you've built a lot of it over these last few years, and you've done so together. If you are not with anyone, this is still something you've been doing. So you've still got this emotional success too. The block here might likely just represent some of our challenges coming forward, and us sort of like weathering them not great. This is not catastrophic. However, when you're receiving this, if you're aware of, okay, me and my partner or my relationship to my lack of a relationship, it's like this. Here's my sensitivities. Here's my so far my failings. Here's what I'm working on. Here's what they're working on. And so whenever this gets stressed a little bit more in November, you're like, okay, now I know we have the emotional maturity for this. I know I've built skills around this. I know we can actually manage this better, right? And then it doesn't have to stay blocked. None of these ever are hard and true fast, like it is absolutely going to be this way. They're just the highest likelihoods, right? So when you receive a message like this, if you really do some work around it, very likely when you get to the moment that would have otherwise stressed and possibly really like put some tension into things, you just flow through it. Because again, the reversal doesn't mean a lack of emotional success. It means a hard time connecting with it, or a hard time letting it carry you through, trusting it, right? So this could flip around for any of us quite easily, the more aware we are of it. So again, well, maybe some extra tension on the relationship front. And astrologically, I'd also be interested to know what's going on, because it feels like things like that and the that moon card that we got, those are much more like collective psyche sort of aspects of what's coming. And if you want to get down to it, in a way, everything is. But, the death card's much more of like physical, like an event, like this is going to happen, right? That's a little different. The victory reverse card, that's like this is going to be based around an election, right? This is a thing that's going to happen. The moon reverse for our economy is much more about like what we're doing with our shadow work in relation to money, in relation to our economy. And same here with this 10 of Cups of success. This is like a collective thing a lot of people are going to face in November. So again, the more you can remember, you do have this emotional maturity, you have these skills, you actually have worked on them with the person you're with, if you are with someone, or you've worked on them with yourself if you're alone. So you have them, they're there. You just have to remember it, and you just have to trust it, and you have to follow it through. So that'll be good. Good stuff. Some of these reversals aren't quite as bad as reversals can sometimes be. So far we're good. That moon reverse that's a doozy. That's a doozy. All right, we're going into the society. Sometimes this is about our friends, our coworkers, right? And our relationships there. And sometimes it's like all of society is going to have this thing going on. So, and a little bit of both sometimes. All right. Society, we have old man reversed. This feels pretty gross. Father of Stones. Reversed old man. This feels like the energy of when like an atheist screams at someone who wishes them a Merry Christmas that they don't believe in God or whatever. I used to do that. You'd be like, Merry Christmas. I'd be like, oh, he's a Christian fascist or whatever. Like, I don't even know what I said. It was ridiculous. Deep pain, deep unhealed wounds over there. This has that sort of energy. Old man is, basically God, right? Old man is the Ancient of Days, Father of Stones in this deck. You can see him there, right? That's God's footprints. You can tell they're God's footprints because all the other footprints and handprints and stuff around him are very, very tiny compared to his. Human handprints, tiny, less than the size of one of his toes, right? This is the idea. Old man, the oldest man. The old man in the clouds, God. So however you conceive of this energy, this sort of masculine father, divine masculine often energy, that side of God, this is reversed on the social level. So there's a blockage in our connection with God socially, right? So that's why I said this has the energy of the people who I used to be, who will be mad at people who say bless you when you sneeze in public. Yeah, that type of energy. It's like the anger at God and the people who believe in God, right? This doesn't have to be a religious thing. This can be God of all types and flavors. This is very specifically a Native American version, one of many, of the Creator. So It can be any of that stuff. And so it's also like that energy of like really severe atheism, like communist atheism, where it's like not only do I have atheist beliefs, but I'm going to force them on everyone, and anyone who believes in any level of spirituality will be put in a camp. It's that level of like rage and controlling sort of energy. So I don't know how that's going to express itself, right? This could be just attacks on institutions or the ideas themselves, or, you know, if Donald Trump does win and all those people are that emotionally and mentally unwell about it, that's exactly the group of people that would then go attacking especially religious or spiritual sorts of things. They have this delusion that like it's all Christian right white men that are on the right. Generally, a lot of people on that side do have that. So like maybe it's something around that, right? It's that sort of energy is what it feels like. And we already have the disconnection from spirit. We already have that deeply baked into our system and our society. So that expressing itself somehow, it could be a bit hairy. It's definitely going to be hurtful to some people. Again, if we're just doing well, we just say to those people, I hope you feel better, and mean it. Because, like, man, the pain that you're in when someone wishes you, like, Merry Christmas or bless you, and you snap at them in anger, like, nobody wants that pain. So, you know, if we can at least be well enough to just be like, whatever, dude, right? That's cool. If we want to rise up to the saint level of things, then we can also offer them some compassion. Something is going very wrong with them, right? Just like it was with me. And the more love we can get in those moments, the more likely we are to make it out and back into the light. So not your job to be a saint. It's just your job to do good enough. And that could just be whatever, dude. That's good enough. All right, we got our spiritual energy for November. This is an ongoing challenge for many people right now, and has been, you know, throughout time. But right now, it's at an interesting point in which people are resisting this. This is the Hermit reversed, Hermit reversed, and Hermit upright. Major Arcana card, very powerful, just like death, just like the moon. So we got some big energies going on in November. Hermit upright, he's gone up to the mountaintop, right? He's the sage on the mountaintop. He's up there communing with God. He's the closest to God that he gets to get. Of course, he has to go away from people to do that. That's the idea of the hermit, right? He's often in a cave or on a mountaintop or somewhere where people aren't. In life, it's not always that we're actually physically going on some like retreat to a Tibetan mountaintop. It is actually that we are going very deeply within. And we might have a period of time where we are less social or talk to people less or engage with them less or just like feel less connected to all of that and are much more about our like internal journey and meditation or whatever that might look like. That can be our hermit side too. No matter how it looks for us or when it's happened in our life or how many times it's come and we've gone into that phase, we always get some of that light, that bright, bright light, source light, and we hold it in our little lantern, and then we come back down off the mountain. The whole point of the hermit phase is to develop that light within, right? Whether it's the conscious understanding of who and what you are, whether it's the love, heart, portal, opening, channeling center, whether it's that fire of divine will, whatever it is for you, that light, it's meant to be shared. It doesn't have to be coming back down and screaming at everyone, hallelujah, go to the mountaintop. Like you can, but it can just be you being honest about who you are and what you've found in life and what you found when you were on your inner journey and sharing it with other people, however you can, reaching out to people in some way. Really, the more we can proclaim those things and just calm, genuine presence, the better all of life is for everyone. This is why this is a spiritual message for November, because this is reversed, because there's tons of people who have found so much within and have found so much in their connection with source and understand so much about this place we're in. They're terrified to say it. They're terrified to say it because there's people like this in the world who get mad when you say bless you. They're terrified to say it because it doesn't fit with a specific series of dogmas from around the world. They're scared to say it because people are assholes about it. Dude, I get it all the time. I just don't care anymore. People are like, you're crazy. I'm like, what? I mean, if you need to think that, why would I care? Right? But it's way harder when you're starting, especially, to come out of the hermit phase or to take all of your hermit phases light and actually finally show it to someone. Whatever it is, however you proclaim your light, your connection, your truth, you're really being called to do it on a spiritual level. And especially whatever blockages you've had from that, whatever fears you've had around it, to really confront them and do it anyway. Again, it can look different from everyone. It can be like finally at a family dinner, you just say, I don't know, there might be reincarnation. And everyone might go, oh! And then one person might be like, whoa, really? I think so too. You never know. You don't. Right? All right. So that's your message. You're called to come back down off the mountain and or share that light more and more directly. So there's a reason this one's free for all, isn't there? And our final message for November is you're more powerful than you think. And that's why you should come to the Violet Flame Vigil this Friday. We need you. This is another major arcana. The High Priestess. And this energy it's not, I mean, it's feminine, right? But it's not about being a woman or not. It's about being able to hold the infinite potential and know that it's real. Literally infinite potential. And knowing that it's real. Knowing that there is no preset course for this earth. No one who's trying to tell you that this is for sure going to happen in the future like this, none of them know that. There's likelihoods, there's very strong likelihoods. There's the tiniest thing that's the most unlikely thing ever to happen. It could happen. It's still there in potentiality. And the more of us know that and the more of us act like it, come down off the mountain, shine our light and believe it and act like it, the more we can bring things into creation that are mind-bogglingly unlikely in our minds. Just as likely to the universe as any other thing. The universe don't care. It's like a honey badger. You do what you want, right? So act like it. And this is actually the point of the Violet Flame Vigil. You know, there's lots of research, Lynn McTaggart being amongst the top researchers of the research around it, that when we come together with intention and we imagine a certain outcome, it's more likely to happen. And when more of us do that, it's even more likely to happen. And when we do it in knowing of our power and our connection to source, then it's even more likely to happen. And there's people doing Violet Flame Vigil type work all around the world all the time. Which does not mean you shouldn't come, because there's enough people. It means we need even more people on it. So come. I don't get anything out of it specifically. I'm not like inviting you and trying to get you to do it for some like selfish reason. In fact, it's like more pressure on me the more people come. But I don't really care about that, because I stepped up when I'm called to do so, and I'm called to do so in this opportunity. So I hope that you come and join us for the Violet Flame Vigil. It's literally exactly this energy of the High Priestess. Of someone who says, oh yeah, I can make that happen. Let's go. And so we're going to do it. So overall, that makes sense to me why the message of perfection came along at the beginning of the year for this coming month of November. Because it will be perfect when we transcend our shadow illusion delusions around the economy in November. It will be perfect when we accept that whoever is choosing to die in November is doing so for a very specific reason at the soul level, and it's okay to let them, no matter how many of them there are. And that someone's going to be mad about an election, that's no matter what, it's going to be how it is. There's a huge number of people, and this one feels more intense to most people. So lots of people are going to be feeling mentally and emotionally stressed about that. So it's even better for us to know our power and hold the light in that time, even in our relationships that are romantic, even though they might be stressed from a lot of the things going on in the world, in our surroundings, in our society, with the election, with death, with economy, with all of it. we have a high level of emotional ability and maturity together. And especially when we have some compassion for each other's triggers, failures, etc., and things we're working on, even better. And even as some people try to specifically and intentionally denigrate your belief or trust in source or God or angels or whatever you call the heavenly life force energy that is in all things at all time, even as some people try to spit upon that or make you feel ashamed for it or stupid for it, even if that comes to some sort of a height or fever pitch, to still at the very least say, wow, that must suck for you, whatever, dude. And step away from it. The better. That's your highest nature coming into being. Get off your mountain and your cave and get your light shining in whatever ways you can. We need you. And when you show up in that energy and that intention, that's going to make the best possible timeline. I'm talking about threading this needle for a reason. Here we are. We're doing it. So come do it. And until you do, travel well, aim for balance, and always look inside first. And come to Lightning Oracle Round tomorrow and to the Vigil of Violet Light on Friday. And find both of those at calendly.com/rogueways.
Yeah, come on, Rat Kings, baby. It's the rap machine. Yeah, check it. Gray bearded pirate, my motherfucker unknown. Yeah, come on. In the place with my fist up, meaning I resist the bullshit that they feed us and lead us. This is just a part of the process, man. Just watch this, cause this shit's about to get crazy like a mosh pit. We lost it, toss it, let's start it again. Cause now with technology, with smarter men and women, this is the beginning, not the end. If this is the message of hope that I send, look on your TV, it's a culture of death. They'll keep on lying to the very last breath. We keep on striving and spreading the truth. It's hard to survive in this world for the youth. The door is closed, the old world is dead. Let's have an age of understanding instead. I'll include you and you include me. Let's see what we can build with some positivity. Let's go, you're moving too slow. Let me see your hands if you know what I know. Come on.
Rap like mummy, ain't no dummy in my rhyming. Started flowing freestyling, now they rhyming loud silence. On with the violence, bodies piling with the gray-bearded pirate. On your TV in 4K 3D virtual reality. Casualty of urban warfare. I know but I'm not scared, just prepared and aware. Shining my light through the tunnel of hope. Into the rope, but I'ma give it one more pull. Till the family is full. Take the bull by the horns and lead it to the slaughter. That would be harder and you would be softer. Sometimes I'm a monster, and you forever imposter, with your champagne and lobster. This royalty, the way it was supposed to be. Hopefully the new door opens and the old one closes, with way more focus and growth to mold us, and the truth that they should have told us.
To them screens, it's a plot to drop the IQ. Fighting amongst each other over rulers that don't like you. Prefer us trapped in melancholy with the wood wands of holly. Suggestions that obliterate to camouflage the folly. Attempted mental robbery, executed sloppily. The paupers see this mockery and walk the talk with me. Put the hands up to touch the Akasha, cause you know deep down there's something bigger than your wallet. Everyone got a gift, everyone got a light. They want you to forget that ish, cause they can't dim the bright. The positive vibration takes you past the sign shackles, from the sewers and the alleys in the moving castles. Who these assholes really serving with an exposed Achilles surgeon around the corner lurking to prove ascension trumps perversion? Learn them to catch fish and unplug the signal. Show them the simpletons now build the fucking temples.